Alright, hi. I want to start by saying this is genuinely funny to me. Because if you had told me a few months ago that I'd be sitting here talking about leadership, not as an idea, but as something I did, I would have laughed, apologized, then immediately tried to leave the room, probably still apologizing. When I joined Leaders in Motion, I wasn't confident, I wasn't outgoing, I was depressed. Just heavily. You show up, technically, but you're not really there. So the real question at the center of this talk is simple. How does someone who can barely show up for themselves end up showing up for others? That's what this program did for me. We talk about self-confidence like it's a personality trait, like someone is born with it and some people are just missed that day at a baby factory. That's nonsense. Self-confidence isn't loud, it isn't certainty, it isn't knowing what you're doing. Self-confidence is acting before you feel ready, and then doing that again and again until your brain finally goes, oh, yeah, okay, I kind of get it now. Leader's Emotion taught me that confidence isn't about the absence of fear. It's movement through fear. Fear stops being a stop sign, and more information, and that mattered. A lot of that came from finally having language for what was happening internally. Emotional fluency gave me permission to name what I was feeling instead of being swallowed by it. Once I could say, I'm afraid, I'm anxious, these emotions stopped running the room. And peopling reframed leadership for me entirely. Leadership wasn't control, it wasn't authority, it was simply presence. Showing up honestly, listening, being willing to be seen. And something that anchored all of this for me was Bridges of Purpose. Bridges of Purpose helped me understand that confidence and purpose aren't things you figure out alone in your head. They're shaped by your story and where you come from and what you lived through, and they're strengthened in relationship with each other. It also helped me recognize that people, especially across generations, are motivated differently. Not better, not worse, just different. And when you stop judging those differences, you can find common ground. Shared values, shared direction. For me, that meant connecting my strengths, my goals, and my identity into something coherent instead of scattered. It stopped being something I did by myself and I was failing at. It became something I could build with other people. It all came together during our final public speaking group project. Old me would have stayed quiet, waited, assumed my ideas weren't worth the air they'd take up. This time I stepped in. I organized the group, made sure everyone was included. I proposed Marcus Aurelius as our topic, proposed the idea of splicing our recordings together since there was no time to Zoom. It was the most involved I've ever been with a group project. Not because I suddenly became fearless, but because I trusted myself enough to try. And afterwards I realized something important. Leadership didn't announce itself. I noticed it after I've already did it. These three things carried me through. Confidence through action. Doing the thing before I felt ready. Goal setting. Breaking my life into steps that were survivable instead of overwhelming. And third, empathy. For others, yes, but also for myself. And that didn't just stay in this room. Because of Leaders in Motion, I got a job. Not by posturing or pretending, but by leading with passion and empathy. I regained the confidence to commute back to Grand Canyon University next semester, something depression had quietly convinced me I couldn't do. I'm organizing my life now, my time, my priorities, my future. And most importantly, I trust myself. Leaders in Motion didn't turn me into someone else, it gave me myself back. If you're waiting to feel confident before you lead, you'll wait forever. Confidence isn't the prerequisite. It's the reward. So speak while your voice shakes. Step forward while you're unsure. Lead badly at first. Thank you.